The word that many Palestinians keep repeating today is the word of Abu Obeida, the military spokesman for the Qassam Brigades, the armed wing of Hamas. Not only the Palestinians are interested in him. He also imposed himself on the Israelis, in the midst of a difficult, complex and fierce battle, which made him an inspiration to many supporters of Hamas in the Arab and Western worlds, and a hated enemy in Tel Aviv and among its allies. Abu Obeida has been out since the 7th of October last, after Muhammad al-Deif, the commander of Al-Qassam, announced the start of the Battle of Al-Aqsa Flood, once every several days, through a recorded speech, dressed in camouflage green soldiers' uniforms, masked with a red kufiya, to deliver the position of Al-Qassam and talk about the new battle. Since the beginning of the Israeli war on the Gaza Strip, Abu Obeida came out before or after every decisive situation, and managed the media war professionally in the face of Israeli speakers, according to Palestinian supporters of Hamas. He sometimes preceded them to important information, embarrassed them by announcing the numbers of dead or captured Israelis before the release of official figures in Tel Aviv. Abu Obeida also embarrassed the Israelis by announcing the desire of Al-Qassam to release some prisoners, and Israel's refusal to hand them over. He was also more realistic than the Israelis in describing the developments of the battle on the ground, including his announcement of the killing of Israeli soldiers many hours before confirmation was issued by the IDF, which has to wait to inform the families of its dead soldiers before announcing it in the media. Abu Obeida, whom Palestinians began to identify with in 2002, uses the terms in a linguistic context that usually turns into a trend as it turns into a material for singing. The Palestinians began chanting to him, "O masked one, Abu al-Kufiya. O Abu Obeida, the inspiration is strong. Your statement is gunpowder, and O Abu Obeida, O their tormentor. Night terrifies them." Who is Abu Obeida? Abu Obeida first appeared in 2002 as one of the Qassam field officials, and he spoke to almost all the media and at press conferences, but he never appeared barefaced, imitating the former Qassam leader Imad Akil, who was killed by Israel in 1993 and was carrying out his operations wearing a red keffiyeh. After the Israeli withdrawal from Gaza in 2005, Abu Obeida was officially appointed as a spokesman for Al-Qassam. He hails from the town of Naliya in Gaza, which was occupied by Israel in 1948, and now he lives in Jabalia, northeast of Gaza, according to little information and sourced from Israel. His house has been shelled more than once before, in 2008, 2012, 2014, and in the current war in Gaza. Abu Obeida rose to prominence in the 2014 war after he announced the kidnapping of Israeli soldier Shaul Aaron in the midst of ground confrontations, and Palestinians then took to the streets in the West Bank in spontaneous marches chanting for him and the resistance. He previously had an account on Twitter, currently Platform X, and another on Facebook, before they were closed. Today, Abu Obeida tweets through the official Qassam website and uses the Telegram application and the Hamas-affiliated Al-Aqsa channel to broadcast his videos, which are republished by various satellite channels and media outlets. Despite the secrecy that the man beats about himself, Israel says that it knows his true identity. Israeli army spokesman Avichai Adrai said, "The masked Huzaifa Khalid is hiding behind the keffiyeh and the nickname is Abu Obeida." Adrai published a photo of al-Khalaut, calling him a liar and a coward, information that neither Hamas nor Al-Qassam paid any attention to and did not comment on. Before the 2014 war, Abu Obeida received a master's thesis at the Islamic University from the Faculty of Origins of Religion, entitled The Holy Land Between Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Today, he is considered the spearhead of the psychological war against Israel, and he usually starts his speeches by saying, "In the name of Allah, the merciful," then recites a Quranic verse, and ends his speech with the sentence, "It is for jihad, victory, or martyrdom." It is clear today that Abu Obeida, with his style, his red veil, his military uniform, and his arm covering, has become a symbol for many Palestinians, as well as for Hamas supporters outside the Palestinian territories. 2 years ago, a 5-year-old Palestinian child entered the Al-Aqsa Mosque and began shouting at Israeli soldiers in Hebrew, "Abu Obeida Badrik, Abu Obeida is on the way." 2 days ago, at a solidarity rally with Gaza in Bethlehem in the West Bank, a speech by Abu Obeida was announced. Demonstrators circled the car speaker and began chanting his name, chants that many Palestinians have been chanting at every demonstration in the West Bank. At the beginning of the war, amid a sports discussion about a football match, a sports analyst surprised his colleagues by saying that he had discovered a new coach stronger than the Italian Carlo Ancelotti, the coach of Real Madrid, and the Spanish Pep Guardiola, the coach of Manchester City, named Abu Obeida, noting that he taught us the all-round ball, the attacking ball. As for the Egyptian artist Muhammad Ramadan, he vowed to call himself Abu Obeida in an upcoming series. Ramadan said in a video clip during which he mocked an Israeli channel that called for a boycott of his work, after calling for the support of Palestine, "My name in the next series is Abu Obeida." Before we go any further, let me just say that you are at the proper place if you enjoy mysteries, documentaries, and biographies. Your subscription. It is up to how satisfied you are with our content. As for your liking of the video contributes to disseminating it to a larger number of people. I am grateful. The emergence of the Palestinian Abu Obeida. Abu Obeida appears at health conferences, in Gaza mosques, in news agencies, sometimes on the streets, on the Al-Aqsa satellite channel or any other satellite channel, and he appeared on the screen for the first time in 2006 to announce the news of the capture of the Israeli soldier Gilad Shalit by the Qassam Brigades, and since then his identity is unknown. The search for Abu Obeida's name on Google leads to more than 10 million results, and on the YouTube platform the results are about 50,000 videos, and according to Palestinian reports, Abu Obeida's face is known to few people because he did not and will not appear to the media, and when he appeared he was masked, and the Israeli aggression tried a lot to reach him but failed and was completely unable to do so. Abu Obeida always concludes his speeches with the famous phrase of the Al-Qassam Brigades, namely, "And it is for jihad victory or martyrdom," a sentence taken from the martyr is al-Din al-Qassam before he was martyred in the Battle of Arash Yabd in 1935 AD. Abu Obeida and the Israeli-Palestinian clashes in Gaza 2021. With the Battle of Saif al-Quds, which took place in May 2021, the mention of Abu Obeida's name became a harbinger of a major event in terms of achieving a military achievement in favor of the resistance, as a result of focusing on credibility and the extent of the direct impact of operations and casualties that occurred in the ranks of the enemy. Even the Israeli military correspondent Gilly Cohen stated that the Israeli people trust the statements of the Qassam spokesman more than the official spokesman in Israel themselves. Palestinian reports say that Abu Obeida's face is known to few, it has not been and will not be shown to the media, and for years the occupation army has been trying by all means to reach him, after they have been unable to identify him for the past period. Abu Obeida has become an icon on the Arab street, where he sees the image of a hero who humiliated the occupation and instilled horror in the hearts of his settlers. Millions hovering around the screens are waiting for him with passion, eagerness, and anticipation, waiting for a speech from him that will broadcast their morale and enthusiasm, announcing the bombing of Tel Aviv or the occupation settlements. As for inside Israel, his appearance constitutes a nightmare and an obsession for the political and military leadership, which Abu Obeida has always embarrassed by refuting its false narratives through which it tries to polish its image in front of the Israeli public opinion, and the matter reached the point of publishing opinion polls confirming that the Israeli street believes the speech of the anonymous masked more than the statements of its political and military leaders. The videos in which Abu Obeida appears are similar, most of them contain a threatening background, and sometimes he is accompanied by a number of masked fighters as well. His statement always begins with, "In the name of Allah," and concludes it with the sentence, "And it is for jihad victory or martyrdom," which is the sentence of the martyr is al-Din al-Qassam. When the British besieged him and asked him to surrender in the bushes of Obed near Jenin, he remained steadfast for 6 hours. Before his martyrdom with his comrades in 1935. Since the beginning of the recent aggression on Gaza, Abu Obeida has appeared many times. His speeches carried many messages that hurt the Israeli occupation, perhaps the most prominent of which is his statement that the decision to bomb Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, Dimona, Ashkelon, Ashdod, Beersheba and before and after is easier for us than drinking water.